The reason we're making this video today, you probably saw in the thumbnail, is I finally got around to finishing my BBX. It's an amazing car. We're going to take a close-up look at it, and I'll show you what I did. There's a few special things in it, and give you a rundown of what I thought of the build process, and then we'll take it outside and we'll drive it, and then I'll tell you what I think about how it drives. So stick around. Okay, we're not in my normal location. I'm not at home. I'm out at a hotel on the side of a mountain filled with bamboo. It's actually pretty sweet. So we've been doing some hiking, taking the dog out for walks. Really beautiful place in Zhejiang. So if you're in China, come check out Mogan Shenzhen. There's lots of hotels here. Very, very cool spot. So the BBX. What do I think of right off the bat? Having not driven it, but I've watched lots of videos, as I'm sure you have as well, of people driving it. Right off the bat, I think this is an amazing kit from Tamiya. Tamiya really outdid themselves on this. It is new old school. That's what I want to dub it as, new old school. A joy to build. I don't recommend it to the first time builder. It is a little bit more complicated than your average Hornet or Lunchbox. But it is an amazing kit. Comes with that hex hardware we all love. Really cool frame design, chassis. The rail cage or the cage design, everything is really, really tip-top. Trailing arms on the rear wheels, so just like real dune buggies, and double wishbone front suspension. Very, very nice, very, very supple suspension. Looks like it's gonna suck up a lot of bumps. I haven't driven it yet. I did paint it and did the driver and completely built it. I drove it around my living room a little bit, but that really doesn't do it justice. So as far as the build process goes, I think if you enjoy building kits, this is definitely the kit for you. If you're a first-time builder, build an easier one first. This is a little bit more complicated than the average Tamiya kit. But as kits go, this is an amazing build, and it's a very cool, unique design. It's not copying anything. It's a 100% original. There's a little bit from the TD2, TD4, like the front steering servo setup, the small servo, the way the horns attach to the chassis, or the way the servo arms attach to the chassis, that kind of stuff. I can see a little influence there. The plastics are really, really nice. Definitely a huge upgrade over the ABC or ABS, over the ABS plastics of most Tamiya kits. The wheels are actually quite large, nice and soft. I think it's beautiful. I painted it in Tamiya copper paint, and I did do the Velcro. I didn't bother drilling holes in my beautiful body, so I did Velcro. I'm just gonna pull that off to show you. Slides right off, and we can take a look inside. So I want to talk a little bit about what's upgraded on this. You'll notice I have lots of lights, so I've done light kits. I got 3 up top, 2 on the side, so it's very, very bright. We're gonna have to get a little bit of dusk or night footage of this driving. I have put in an OMG servo, very nice one. You can program this one with a USB stick, which is kind of cool. And for the power, we have a Hobbywing V10. I put an 8.5 turn, and I'm running a Hobbywing XR10 Stock Pro, or Pro Stock, which is a very nice ESC. It is very small. You can't see it because it fits neatly underneath the ESC cover that's included in the kit. So it's underneath there. Very nice ESC, very nice brushless sensored motor. So a little bit expensive. I think those 2 pieces cost the same as the kit. So if you're going out to buy it, it costs a little bit. Other upgrades, I put in the slipper clutch. So that's already installed. And I didn't use ball diffs. So the back diff, that's the only diff, it's 2-wheel drive. So the diff is gear diff. So I bought a gear diff to put in. The same ones that fit the TA06 and a couple different models fit this one. So I put gear diff in. Ball diff is better if you're racing. I'm not planning on racing this. I want a fun buggy to bash and crash. I just find gear diffs way less maintenance. You don't have to adjust them. Put them in, forget about it, put some thick oil in. So there's oil in there. Diff is pretty open. I don't know if you can see both wheels spin in there, but the diff is fairly open. I can always change the oil, thicken it up, or put some diff putty in there and really lock it up. Another upgrade I did is I put on the aluminum arms. So the steering arms are the aluminum Tamiya upgrade. And I think that's about it. Slipper clutch, gear diff, and the aluminum arms. The rest is bog standard, kit standard, except for the light kit. So these lights actually come out of a light bar that's made for a crawler. And I just took the lights out of it and added it to the Tamiya light buckets. So that's the car. How do I think it will drive? Well, I think it'll drive like a 2-wheel drive. I think you have to slow down to turn the corners. There'd be a lot of oversteer when you're under power, or understeer, sorry, when you're under power. So I think it's going to drive pretty good because of that soft suspension. They really outdid themselves. These stock shocks are beautiful. A little bit different than most Tamiya shocks, but I think they're going to work well. They're aeration dampers, so there's actually air in there. There's a bleed-off valve on the top. Very, very nice. Now, as far as the kit goes, the way it's designed, very nice to have the cage. I've seen some people leave the cage exposed and painting it. That looks cool, like a rail car. Very cool to have a driver figure, have the mesh in the windows. It looks like a real buggy. Now, in building it, I didn't really come across anything too difficult. It's a bit odd to set up your toe in, toe out, that kind of stuff. Or sorry, your camber. It's a bit odd to set up your camber. You actually do it with shims on this post for the front. There's shims in there, 2 on each side, and you change the camber by angling these towers, these pieces. And same thing on the back. You will change your toe in, toe out by adding shims to the trailing arms underneath. So a little bit odd, but very Tamiya. Looks like a classic car. Looks like a Rough Rider kind of. Looks like a classic Tamiya car from the 80s. But underneath it is a fully modern machine. Very nice gearbox. Only 3 gears in there. I think it's a very nice setup. I just love that it looks like an actual car. Covering up the ESC, putting the driver figure in. These little touches are really, really nice. And I think it'd be cool, even if people are racing, if they had driver figures in their buggies when they do races. All right, I think that's enough talk. If you're super interested in the BBX, I did an unboxing. You can look at the parts. There's loads of videos out there now. I pre-ordered this, and I was probably one of the first people to get it, and I'm probably the last person to make a video on it. One last thing about the body. It's modular, and you paint all the pieces individually and you bolt them on. I think that's super cool. No problems in building. Follow the instructions. Beautiful, beautiful kit. Now we're gonna take it outside here in Zhejiang and do some driving, see how it works. Steering's working. It turns well too. Dude, drop again. Steering.
to jump though.
Really? What's the jump?
Okay, it works better than expected. I did just crash this a few times, and now I've noticed I've lost the bolt for the rear shock. So, no rear suspension. So I need a little bolt, and I'm out here in the countryside and I don't have any bolts. I brought my tools, but I didn't bring any bolts. We did pop off the steering arm. Popped that back on. Seen it crash on its roof a few times. There's those Tamiya lights everyone thought would self-destruct rather quickly. They actually hold up pretty good. They're made out of that new plastic, so that helps. So scraped up a little bit. All the lights still work. This car is very, very fast. So we'll do another video and we will put a GPS. We'll put a speed GPS on it. This has an 8.5 turn, and I think I forgot to say it has a 21 tooth pinion. So it has a bigger pinion than the kit. It's running 8.5 turn, and the ESC has turbo. And when that turbo hits in, let's take a look. You can actually watch the wheels. So that's turbo. When the wheels fly up in little pinpoints, and it loses all sorts of traction. It will actually backflip when turbo hits. So this thing's got some punch. I do have smaller pinions. I may put them on, but actually I also have bigger pinions. So we can gear up and we can go even faster. Let's look at damage. This thing has been crashed. We were driving over big stones, like a real car would just be totaled. We have slid on the side a few times. We've kind of destroyed that rim. We've taken the chrome off that rim. I'm noticing, oh, this screw is coming out. So that's all really loose there. The front one maybe also. This one's a little bit better. No damage to these rims, but this side we have some damage. Yeah, a little scrape in my decal. Nothing too serious there. All in all, it held up. There's not a lot of two-wheel drive kits. You throw in an 8.5 turn. This is the type of motor you would use for like two-wheel drive stadium truck racing, that kind of thing, in like a pro vehicle. So it's holding up pretty good. I think if you're building it, I'm pretty sure I did, maybe I didn't, Loctite your nuts on here, even though they are lock nuts, obviously. And maybe, no, can't Loctite that because it goes into plastic, but check your bolts. I'm really surprised that that's pulled out, and it's probably from crashing it, because we've had multiple crashes. It is two-wheel drive. I think I will pull the diff out and put heavy oil or even diff putty in, and that should help it be more stable so one wheel doesn't start spinning too quick and ballooning. And maybe we'll try less soft tires, harder tires, especially if we do a speed test. Alright guys, that's all for today from beautiful Mogan Shenzhen. Nice out here. It's been a wonderful day. Kind of a cool place to take this car for its maiden voyage. And yeah, catch you next time. This car will be back on the channel. It's totally awesome. Take it out, build it, crash it, rebuild it. That's how we do it here on Triggered RC. Yeah.
Who will not be back. Ready?